We had many important things take place over the last 24 hours. We had a major decision that was made. We had a major relisting that took place. And I think a lot of people are getting blinded by just the ups and downs of the charts, and they're missing a lot of these huge things that have been taking place. In fact, there's something that's happened over the last week that we do need to have a discussion about as well. So, if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So, I was taking some time and relaxing yesterday, and I happened to see so many people getting angry and frustrated, and you need to relax. It's fine. All right. We're chopping. We're in the SOS phase. Nothing has really changed in the last 2 weeks in terms of price. So you guys can see that we've pretty much just been sideways during that time. And what ADA is doing is building towards an even bigger breakout moment. This is exactly what we've been talking about. We're not there quite yet, but there are some things that are helping us out. First of all, ADA showing a lot of strength and resilience here. It keeps bouncing off of its 50-day moving average. I saw people freaking out when ADA dropped down to that 73-cent range yesterday, and lo and behold, we actually spiked all the way up into the mid 76-cent range overnight. That's what we're doing. We're up, we're down, we're left, we're right. That's where we're at. That's exactly what this phase looks like. It's not a surprising thing. So stop complaining, be patient, have some conviction. All right, do whatever you want, but just understand that that's where we're at. And what I will say is that when we look at ADA in a bigger, broader perspective, I've seen some people complain and say that ADA is doing nothing over the last several months. And I think people forget that ADA is actually green, right? It's building momentum. It's building strength, right? Look at exactly what it's doing. Slowly but surely working its way into a parabolic move on the monthly. It's an exciting sign. And what's happening during that time is people are buying and hoarding like we've been talking about. I'll get to this more in just a moment, but it's impressive to see what ADA is doing despite some of the negative garbage that we've dealt with over the past several months. Black swan events, tariff news, tons of crap that has just shaken the market time and time again, but yet ADA is green, 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 right? It's not really a surprising thing, especially when you're seeing what we're seeing here in terms of large holders for ADA. For example, over the last just week alone, whales have actually added 180 million ADA. In fact, it looks like they bought a lot as we went on our last spike, but it's a very consistent trend. People want to get more and more and more. And if you're going to get shaken out by these small chops in the market, I don't know what to tell you. You can do whatever the hell you want, but that's why not a lot of people make it in crypto. All right. Now, other things that are helping us out on a much bigger and broader perspective, institutional players just continue to buy. Buy. All right. Yesterday, $432 million worth of BTC added. 10 straight days of institutional players adding BTC. It's the longest period we've seen since March. It's a very convicted period. It is, in fact, increasing as we've gone through this week. So what they're seeing, I think, this is my thoughts, is that we don't have a significant drop here. Otherwise, they wouldn't just be buying and buying and buying up here. In fact, I would say right now they're doing a pretty good job of robbing retail because a lot of retail is still fearful and they're going to dump their positions right into the hands of these big players. And it is what it is. It happens all the time, but that's kind of where we're at. What we're also seeing right now are some good signs in terms of Ethereum. All right. ETH is actually at the highest price point it has been since all the way back on February 24th. This is exactly what we've been talking about. It's exactly what we've been waiting for. It's outpacing BTC. So we're starting to really emerge in this phase too, like we've been talking about. BTC dominance dropping off pretty significantly. Just set actually a new lower low on this local trend here. All right. Not saying we can't spike back up, but we're continuing to show signs that BTC dominance wants to break down, which is essential for altcoin pumps. All right. That being said, when we're looking at something like USDT dominance, we're still floating around that same range right here. We're building that right shoulder on this inverse head and shoulders here, guys. We're getting right, or I'm sorry, inverse on the regular head and shoulders. We're preparing for a drop down. We're in just the perfect spot. And yet people are just going to complain and whine, and that's fine, right? That's why a bunch of people are going to get sidelined. It is what it is. We're still having really high volume as the week has progressed. $130 billion in daily trading volume over the last 24 hours. ADA itself, $676 million in daily trading volume. Kind of a lower volume day, but yet we're still seeing a lot of conviction, which is great. Now, a couple things that people do need to be aware of. We did, in fact, get our decision from the SEC about 12 hours ago. This is about the start of, about the start of our daily candle. And what they said was they're delaying it. Go figure. That's what we expected would happen. That's what they've done with the XRP and Dogecoin spot ETFs. So that's not really surprising. So I'll have to look and see what the date is, but it's going to be later this year. It's either going to be October or November, like we were discussing. Something else important that took place, eToro actually relisted ADA, reopening access to its 38 million users worldwide. And like I've said many times before, where you want to be is having acts with, let me rephrase this, where you want to be going into a big time of adoption is a point where you have access from all these different exchanges, where you have access to all these millions and millions of users in the space. That's why, again, the Robinhood relisting was important. That's why I think getting on Gemini is going to be important. There's a lot of things that can actually help ADA in a big way as we get deeper into this cycle. I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, we're running out of time. You know, we only have a couple months left. We have all the time in the world. There's not been a single bull market peak indicator that has triggered. There has not been a major time in adoption quite yet. Institutional players are still buying. And these are all huge signs indicate. And guys, stablecoin minting is up. Exchange flows for capital are up. I mean, all these things are building towards this just big breakout moment in the market, and people aren't seeing it. And that's fine. That's why we like to be ahead of the curve here. And sometimes that means we have periods where we'll be talking about this and it's boring and it's sideways and there's not a lot going on. But if you can't feel things shifting in the market, I don't know what to tell you because it's happening. So appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.